Okay, so I've got my little amethyst. This is I don't know, 8 by 6, I think is what that guy is. We have what we call calibrated stones in the jewelry industry, and that they're pretty standard sizes. So this is actually, it's a 10 by 8. So it's almost 10, so it's 9.93, which is nominally 10 millimeters, and it's 7.77, which is nominally 8 millimeters. So this is an 8 by 10 oval cabochon. What you want to do is you want to find bezel material that adequately fits your stone. And so the way to figure that out is you can take a piece of bezel that you have, that you think, well, maybe this bezel will be appropriate for my stone, and you put it right next to your stone like this. This is the fine silver bezel strip right here. You put it right next to your stone, standing up properly. You want to be able to see, well, let me make sure I'm on the video camera here. You are focus in a little bit better, because this camera focuses in really nice.
Yeah, how high is it supposed to be is always my question.
Well, I'm going to show you. This was focusing better yesterday. All of a sudden, this camera's acting funny. What in the world is going on? Yeah, this is it. Well, that's as good as it wants to do. So what you're doing is you're looking right here where the cabochon stone has a curve to it typically. Some are really flat, some are higher dome. This one's a pretty high but average stone. So right here where the top of the stone is, it curves down. Right here where you see the bezel come in, you want to see that vertical sidewall of the bezel standing above the stone. If I take the tip or the end of the bezel and put it right against the stone, that is going to be hard to see on the camera, but if I put it right against the stone there, you can see there's a little V right here. It's curved on this side and it's straight up on the other side. That's that vertical sidewall right there. That's the amount of bezel that's going to be able to push over, and it's going to push right to that point there, and that's what traps the stone in place. The bezel wall is straight, the stone is curved like this. So if you travel up the edge of the stone on that curve, the diameter is smaller at that point, okay? So here's the curve of my bezel, here's the vertical sidewall of the stone, or here's the curve of my stone, here's the vertical sidewall of the bezel. That bezel gets pushed over to a smaller footprint of the stone cannot come out of that hole. It's too small for it to come out. That's the physical, clamping of the stone in a bezel. We don't put glue or anything, it's just literally pushed over there. So that's a good size bezel for this, right? So if I had a taller bezel, it would be pretty obvious. If I had this really tall bezel right here, if I put that up against there, he said to look for a vertical sidewall. Look there's a vertical sidewall, right? But when I push that vertical sidewall over the bezel, over the stone, it's gonna, here's my stone and here's the bezel way up here. It's gonna cover the entire stone. I'm not gonna even see the stone, and more often than not,